create a non-cakey complexion with just using a powder foundation. Now for us girls with acne or any kind of sensitive skin issues, you want to be making sure the products you are using are not the cause of your acne. Now there's a lot of research that needs to go into this and behind all of the products that you are using. So before going out and buying a full coverage foundation, I strongly suggest that you do research into the ingredients and the products that they use. Youngblood is something that I have done hours upon hours of research into it, and I've made sure that it's okay for my skin to use. Now this powder foundation normally lasts me around 10 hours before the oils start breaking through, but then you can always blot, take your powder brush and just dab it over. Once you've done that, you're good to go for at least another 5 hours. Obviously I try not to wear my foundation for that long. However, when I'm working, say a 10-hour shift at work, unfortunately makeup is applied for that long. Now as long as you're removing that makeup properly and you're using a makeup that isn't going to clog your pores, then obviously it's going to be less damaging for your skin, as opposed to if you're using a very full coverage heavy foundation that's going to get right deep into those pores, and that is not what you want when you're wearing it all day. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking, get straight into it, and I hope that you guys enjoy. So first of all, to achieve a non-cakey foundation look, you want to be prepping your skin. Prepping your skin is the most important step that you can take to achieve a flawless looking face. Now by prepping your skin, I mean cleanse, toning and moisturising, all that are suitable for your skin type. Obviously you are in charge of your skin, you know what feels best on your skin, so just do the steps that you feel most comfortable with. If you're interested in seeing my skincare routine, I'm more than happy to do it for you guys. Just let me know and I will make sure to get that done for you. So my cleansing routines always depend, however the things that don't change are the toners and the moisturisers. So the toner I'm using at the moment is this Liz L Skin Tonic Toner. This is absolutely brilliant to just spritz all over the face. It's quick and easy to use and it just gets the job done. Now my moisturisers always depend on how my skin's feeling. If my skin's feeling a bit tired and dull and it needs a little bit of a pick-me-up, then I will go in with my Lancome Visionaire Moisturiser. This is to correct the skin and bring a bit more life and bounce into the skin. If I'm not using my Lancome, then I'll be going in with my La Roche-Posay Effectular Matte Moisturiser. This is a brilliant moisturiser just to mattify the skin before putting any products onto it. So when applying your moisturiser, you want to make sure that you're tapping it into the skin rather than rubbing it, because rubbing it is going to just irritate the skin, make it extremely angry and red, of which is not what you want, because then you're going to have to build more layers of concealer and foundation, of which is then going to give you that cakey look. So make sure you're just sprinkling it into the skin nice and lightly, not irritating the skin at all, and then just allowing it to sit into the skin for around 5 to 10 minutes depending on how much time you have. The longer you leave it, the more that moisture will have sunk into your skin and the more prepped your skin will be for foundation. To start off with, I am going to pin my hair back with these crocodile clips. Now I have already primed my skin with my Benefit Professional. I've done that before I was on camera just so I can allow that to sink into the skin as like the moisturiser. You want to allow it to sink in for around 5 minutes just as then it's all into the skin before you start applying more product to it. So once I've done my skincare and priming and it's all sunk into my skin, I'm going to go in with a tissue and just blot all the excess product off from my skin. So then I'm starting with a completely clear canvas. To do this, I just take any old tissue and eventually tear it apart so you have a thin piece of tissue, as it's going to soak up the oil a lot easier. And then just place it over the skin. So once blotting and getting rid of all of that excess product, I'm going to be going in with my colour correcting palette. I'm going to be using the green to target any of the severe redness, and then the pink to target any of my dark eye, under eye circles. Or if you have any dark pigmentation in your skin and you're light skin toned, then pink is going to be the colour that you want to correct that. I'm just going to further blend the green in with my beauty blender. I'm going to just be cleaning it quickly with these little wipes that I get from Primark. Just a sponge cleansing wipe just to kill all the bacteria and just make sure it's nice and clean before we put it onto our face. So it's just a damp, extremely damp, kind of baby wipe kind of thing. Now pop your sponge inside and squeeze. What that will do is it will just get all the foundation off from when you last used it and kill the bacteria that's going to be hoarding around in there. Just blending that green in. So I take the colour correcting steps when my skin is extra red and raw, just because it's then going to minimise the amount of foundation that I'm going to need to put on. If I'm colour correcting, I'm getting rid of that redness prior to putting my foundation on, which means my foundation really doesn't have to do much work apart from just even out my skin tone and pigmentation for me. If I'm colour correcting, as you can tell from a before and after, it has dyed down the redness a lot, and it's also helped to hide not all but the majority of my dark circles. And then when we come to apply the foundation and concealer, it doesn't have so much work to do as opposed to if I didn't colour correct. So now going in with my Youngblood Loose Mineral Foundation in the shade Neutral, I'm going to be applying this all over my face. For those of you who don't know what Youngblood is and have never heard of Youngblood, I strongly suggest that you look into it, especially if you have sensitive or acne prone skin. It was created and developed by this lady here named Pauline. She basically worked in a dermatology centre, I believe, and she saw patients with severe skin conditions come in and out of people's offices all day long and saw how much it can really affect someone from the inside out. So she decided to invent a makeup line that's not going to clog your skin pores, but it's also going to give you that full coverage effect that people with skin conditions are going to be looking for. So this makeup line is paraben free, cruelty free, talc free, fragrance free, oil free. Some products are vegan and they are also gluten free. They have everything in this range from eye creams to foundations, liquid foundations, powder foundations, basically everything that you need to complete a full face. So this powder is the powder that I wear on a daily basis. It provides extreme full coverage in my opinion, but I also do feel like my skin's breathing throughout the day. I have not seen dramatic improvement in my skin, but I also have not seen it getting any worse. For example, if I wear, say, Estee Lauder Double Wear, as much as I love Estee Lauder Double Wear, if I'm using it for a 10-hour day at work and then I need an hour to apply that before work and a couple of hours I'm wearing it for after work, I'm wearing my foundation for a good 13 hours throughout a working day. If I'm wearing Estee Lauder, that's going to clog my pores and I will have whiteheads at the end of the day that weren't there in the beginning. However, when I'm wearing my Youngblood foundation, yes, I'm still wearing it for a long period of time because I do work long shifts. However, when I'm wearing Youngblood, I don't feel like my skin is not breathing and it's clogging the pores, because when I come home and remove my makeup, my skin is how it was that morning. It's not got any new little friends that are coming to say hello. It's exactly the same, and for that reason I love wearing this on a day-to-day basis. Now, I mentioned this in my acne covering tutorial. This is the makeup brush cleanser that I will use to cleanse my makeup brushes every single time before each use. It's an antibacterial and sanitizer for natural and synthetic makeup brushes, so it's absolutely brilliant for regardless what makeup brushes you use. All I have to do to use this is take a tissue, spray a couple of sprays onto it, take the brush and swirl it around, and the makeup just comes off it, and it takes around 30 seconds to dry, if that. It doesn't take long at all, and it's just going to make sure that you're not spreading bacteria from the day before or from client to client. As you can see, that really does get rid of, this is just from one day's use, gets rid of all of that foundation and all the bacteria that will be in there as well from the day before. Now my brush is fresh to go. I can now go in with my powder. Now with this powder, you just tap it into the lid. You'll get used to how much you need. Some people need a very small amount, and some people like myself like to keep on tapping. And taking my Real Techniques Bold Metals 103 brush, I'm just going to apply that picking up the product and then tapping off the excess. I'm then just going to take the product and swirl it directly onto my skin. So with all young blood products, they take a little bit of time to develop their fullest coverage. So once you've applied either the powder or the liquid foundation, allow it to just sit into your skin for a couple of minutes, because I promise you, I know it sounds absolutely crazy and you're going to think that I'm completely psychotic, but I promise you the coverage does improve and it does build. As you can see, it really does cover any redness or scarring or anything, and it feels so light on the skin. It feels like nothing on the skin. Like I said, I haven't seen any improvement in my skin, however it definitely does not clog my pores, and I can honestly tell you that it does not make my skin worse. I just want to say I'm not being paid, or I haven't been sent the products or anything like that. I wish I was, but believe me, I'm not. I'm just telling you guys because I know what it's like to deal with acne, and I was constantly on the lookout for products like this. I'd constantly be watching YouTube videos, but it'd always be girls with perfect skin and perfect hair, and everything was so perfect. However, I know there are a lot of girls out there that are dealing with the same struggles that I go with, and I know that if I was in your position, I would be really appreciating the advice that I'm giving. So I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in person you definitely can, that the coverage has definitely developed, and now I feel like we're kind of in the position to build where we need to. So I'm just going to take a little tiny bit more and just put that over my cheek, just because I don't like it to look muddy when I apply my contour and everything. I'm sure you can tell the powder, even though you'd think it'd be a matte finish, it's not entirely matte. It actually still has a bit of luminosity to the skin, so you're not a completely flat canvas. And I personally would quite happily walk out the house, and I do walk out the house with just this on, with no bronzer or blush or anything, especially if I'm in a rush for work, just because it still has that luminosity to the skin. Now under the eyes, I like to go in with this Young Blood concealer. This is in the shade Fair. I would also use this prior to the powder foundation if I felt like I needed to. However, because I colour corrected, I'm not going to add that extra step because it's just unnecessary. It's a pan concealer. Now these do tend to carry a lot of bacteria, so it's always important that you're sanitizing them and making sure that they're completely clean. You can use this sanitizer and just spray it onto the product a few times, allow it to dry for around 30 seconds and the bacteria will be gone. Whilst waiting for that to dry, I'm going to show you that I'm going in with the Lacombe powder in this palette that I always use. Absolutely love this powder on my Real Techniques Miracle sponges. So I'm just going to take that out from the pan on my finger, apply it directly under the eye. And then blend it with my Real Techniques mini sponge. Now I've applied my powder foundation and under eye concealer, I can go in and set the work that we have done. Now Young Blood do this powder they call a mineral rice setting powder. This is basically like a veil to put over the skin, just because like I said, the powder is not completely matte and you do need to set it with something just to keep it all in place. Mine is in the shade medium, however I do believe that you can get translucent if that's something that you are interested in. Just going to stipple that all over the face with my Bare Minerals Full Flawless Face Brush. There we are. So now our foundation and concealer is completely locked in place. We can go in with our bronzer and blush. For the bronzer, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Contour Palette. And for blush, I'm going to be taking my Naked Flushed Streak Palette. And I'm going to be using the blush here. I'm going to apply the bronzer by using a very light hand and try not to disturb anything that I have done already. Just applying that onto my skin. To apply the blush, I'm going to be using this MAC stippling brush. Blending the blush upwards towards the high points of the face to give you that uplifted look rather than outwards. to give you that drag look. And now on to highlighter. Of course, I'm going to be going in with my Mary Lou because she is the bomb. There we are, so we've applied our concealer, foundation, bronzer, blush, highlight, the entire lot. So now it's just time to finish off the face. I'm just going to go over the eyes just because the powder's got into some places and made it look a bit iffy. And also I'm going to go into my lips. Some of you may know I am on roaccutane, of which is a drug used to treat severe acne. I will do a video completely based upon that if you're interested at all, but since then my lips have become extremely dry. I always tend to go in with something that's going to moisturise my lips before applying any lip balm or anything. The best one I've come across is Carmex. This is absolutely brilliant. It moisturises the lips like nothing I've ever had. I've tried oils from the Body Shop and all different kinds of lip balms, and honestly Carmex is the one for it. So I just allow the Carmex to sit into my lips for a little bit. I will remove the residue and then just apply a moisturising lipstick. So I'm just going to go in and apply my Gerard Cosmetics in the shade Buttercup. So as you can probably tell, or may not be able to on camera, my lips do not take very well to lipstick anymore just because they are very intensely dry since starting the roaccutane. The only lipsticks that I've come across so far that have actually moisturised my lips and looked okay on my lips would be the YSL, I believe it's called Rose. The Tarte Coconut Oil lipstick. So this lipstick has actually got coconut oil inside, so it's going to provide a lot of moisture, which is exactly what I need when I'm on that roaccutane. So I just went ahead and applied a little bit of that Tarte Coconut Oil lipstick all over my lips, just because the other one was not providing enough moisture for me. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully learned that you can have a full coverage look without aggravating your skin, and maybe also discovered a brand that you too can use on your skin without it becoming too irritated. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to thumbs up, and also just leave comments on what you want to see, any suggestions on skincare, anything that's acne related. I'll always try and be as brave as I possibly can to come on and help other people in my situation. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! La 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 la. Using a very light hand. Adios, people.